Hey guys, Dewalt 1979 here. Gonna bring to you today a review on the Dewalt DCD780C2. This is the 20 volt max model. This is compact performance. I'm gonna try to keep this quick because, you know, there's a couple good things I can say about the drill, but overall, you know, this isn't the drill for me, so for some of you guys it might be. So this has a ratcheting chuck. Yep, if you can get it to ratchet. But the chuck, what I found after using it a couple of times is that the chuck can come loose on you. So if you're using it for, depending on what application with vibration stuff, the chuck is gonna come loose on you. I don't know why, but the chuck is just easy to loosen. So from what I've ran it with the application I did, the chuck came loose. So this is a light drill, comfortable to hold, compact for tight spaces. It has a light on the bottom, which I'm not a big fan of. It creates a kind of a big shadow. I like it when the light is on the battery pack here downstairs. So this is one of the things. It has 0 to 600 RPM for the first speed. The second speed, it has 0 to 2000 RPM, which is the fastest in its field. So if you need to drill some medium to light to medium application, just drive in some screws, some 2-inch screws and something like that. This is gonna do the job. It's got some nice rubber backing. The battery is easy to take off and on, so just like that. But the battery doesn't have any light battery pack indicator, so you don't know if this battery is charged or not when you're using it. So that's one of the disadvantage I can see to this this model. For the application that I've run this drill at, you know, the drill has some power. So from what I can tell on the website, if I go to a UK website or an Australian website, you can see the Newton meters for the torque instead of something Dewalt calls unit watt out or something, UWO I think. So this doesn't tell you anything much about the torque for inch pound or foot pound, so it doesn't tell you much at all. So this is, I found a little weird and a little strange that they're hiding they want to hide or not tell their torque application, their torque power. So you know, every other company, you get Rigid, you get Makita, you get, you know, Milwaukee, they all tell you how much inch pound they got. So I don't know why Dewalt wants to hide, but from what I can saw on those websites, it has 16 Newton meters of torque, which converts to 531 or something inch pound of torque. So pretty good torque. Not as much as you would think, because it has some torque, but the fact that it's 2000 RPM for the second speed kind of kills that torquey application. If you have something a little bit more harder for an application, the torque is gonna be kind of nullified by that 2000 RPM speed. It's just gonna be diluted, if you will. So one of the application I ran it with, so this is a impact adapter for dismantling bolts or driving nuts and whatever. I bought this on sale for like $6, and to my surprise, it actually works. It won't give you the, you know, an immense amount of torque, but compared to, let's say, a Craftsman C2, a C3, or a Mastercraft that I took that's got 220 foot-pounds of torque, this thing has more torque than a 220 foot-pounds. So for that little 18 volt NiCad system, so I would assume that this would have more than the 200 foot-pound as well as the Mastercraft C3, which is also NiCad but compatible with the lithium-ion battery. So what I did is just put this on the drill like that. So just gonna tighten it up a little. Just put it on the drill like that, and just undid some lug nuts on cars, and where I work I got lots of cars hanging around, so you know, I tried it on a couple of cars, and this did a pretty good job. But the drill I had before this one, which I had to return because of a battery issue, after a couple of days the charger would tell me that the battery were defective, so I didn't want to take any chances. Decided to return it, and I saw that the Dewalt came on sale for $149 at a Home Depot. The one I had before that was the Rigid, and the Rigid had more torque and maybe a little less speed, but it had more torque. You can adjust the torque on that little adapter, and if I put the torque all the way up, the Rigid would do just drill it for a little while, and just after that there's an overheat, or there's some protection built into the drill. So on that part I think it's a good thing, because under the Dewalt it's a plain Jane. As you can see, the battery has no indicators, it has nothing on there. But I would torque that little torque setting to the max on the Rigid, and after maybe a couple of seconds, maybe 10-15 seconds, trying to take off a lug nut, if it was really jammed in there, I would the drill would stop. It would just protect itself and stop. This one, I tried it on the max setting, and you can see smoke coming out of it. So, which I found funny, because you have a video on YouTube. It's called Dewalt Compact Performance, and they pin it up against a Makita and against a Makita and a Milwaukee. So I don't remember the model number on drills. I don't think they specify it, but it was an 18 volt, I think, NiCad, and compact tough, and you know, they were drilling 1-inch spade bit through 2x6, and the Dewalt would just blast through it. As you saw, the Makita wouldn't blast through, would go through with some time, and the Milwaukee would just the Milwaukee would just stop with the overheat protection. But you saw the guy putting so much pressure behind that drill, and the Milwaukee just stopped with the overheat protection, or you know, over the protection he had on the drill. And it says, oh, that little light says, stop what you're doing. You're doing something that I can't handle, or something like that. So I found that to be funny, because the application wasn't even that hard. It was just a 1-inch spade bit, and through some 2x6, I think it was oak or something. But that wasn't such a hard application. All you had to do is take your time, and you would go through that. But you know, with the Dewalt, they said, how much time do you have, and you know, are you gonna get the job done? But depending on the application you're running, the Dewalt doesn't have any protection. So by the end of the day, you could just burn out your drill and say bye bye to the drill. You know, the drill is gonna be gone, no protection whatsoever. So the drill's gonna heat up, and the smoke is gonna come out, and instead of saying stop what you're doing, it just, let's go until I die, and after I'm dead, well, just buy a new one, you know, or just go exchange me. So that's kind of dumb. So this might halt your production or your work that you're doing if the drill dies on you because of the motor smoking. So anyway, I found that to be funny. But for the price you're paying for this drill, depending on the application, if you have, you know, some light to medium light application, we need to drive in some screws. I think some testing was done, and the battery held up for screwing some screws into some wood, and it had more capacity for drilling screws than anything else. So, but you know, with every charger today with lithium-ion battery, you're gonna have your battery recharged in 25 minutes. So see, if it takes, you know, less than 25 minutes to screw in like 100 and something screws, depending on the size of the screws and all, you're just drilling, screwing the screws non-stop, well, then you might have to get more batteries. But you know, overall, for the difference between 120 screw and 110 screw for the Rigid, 123 screw I think it was, and 110 for the Rigid, you know, there's not a big difference. It's gonna be like 10 10, 20 screws, 30 screws more, so it's not going to make a huge difference. To some people it might, but you know, overall this drill has some, you know, quality, the ergonomics, everything. It's light, it's compact. If you have some lighter application that you need to take care of, that might be a good drill. But like I said, the battery packs that doesn't have any indicator on it, that you know, you don't know if it's charged, when it's gonna die. Let's talk about a little bit for the charger before I go. The charger only has a single light, which is red. First of all, it just lights up red. That's all it does. And it has some different types of flashing to tell you if the drill is charged, if it's you know, charging, if it's charged, if it's hot or cold delay, if it's you know, problem pack charging and problem power line or stuff like that. So yeah, well, that charger, you know, I like the charger on the rigid better. Like I said, I had some issue on the rigid, but I think I'm gonna return it and try my luck at the rigid one more time, because the rigid was just, you know, better in terms of a couple of things. The chuck did not came loose. The feel of it was good. The fact that it has a second control for the light that was on the bottom shining up, was excellent. Even with something super long like that here, if I put it there, the light still did a good job lighting up the area. So the light on the bottom here, you know, it's not gonna do anything. So, and the fact that it has just a little bit more torque than this one, but less RPM, I think makes it more versatile. This drill is gonna be more suited, first of all, to people that are Dewalt fans all the way, but to people that have some, you know, application where you need to drive in screws, or you know, drilling holes with some metal bits, or you know, wooden bits, but that wouldn't be too big. So 1 inch spade bit would fit perfectly on there. Even 1.5 inch, even almost close to, well, maybe not 2 inches, but 1 inch bit that would, you know, do the work, and you would be able to drill, I think, no problem, depending on how much hole you need to make and stuff like that. If you're running an application where the drill is gonna heat up quickly, well, you're just gonna see it, or you're gonna smell it, or you know, the drill is not gonna tell it to you. You're gonna have to look for the signs. As compared to the rigid, it has some overheat protection. It has, you know, some other features that makes it just a little bit more appealing to me. To me, you're getting a little bit more technology with the rigid, and plus their warranty, you know, you can't beat their warranty. So yeah, overall, you know, good drill. Maybe I would give it a 6 or 7 out of 10. It has some good features like the 2000 RPM. That's something different, but it's not going to be something universal. It's going to be something that's going to be targeted towards something more specific in the construction, or you know, whatever work you're doing. It's going to be something a little bit more specific. So to me personally, I don't find the appeal on that drill. I don't really like it compared to the rigid that I had for a few days, but I had to return it, like I said. But I'm gonna try my luck at the rigid another time, and if it works, well, good. If not, well, it's just gonna be something different. So, but just one more thing that I noticed is the lockup for the battery here. I think this is a little bit better than the rigid for the lockup. So when you're pulling the battery out, the rigid has 2 tabs on the side, and this little bar here is separated into 2. So when you lock it up, you know, you have 2 different bars that you have to press simultaneously on each side to eject that battery. So this one fits in a little bit more, a little faster, a little easier on there than my rigid. But the rigid, I only had some problems with the compact impact driver. So, but basically, for less money, you're gonna get a rigid drill that's gonna, I think, outperform this one, depending on the application, and an impact driver. So for less money. So and you get lifetime warranty. And basically, I think the charger is also better on the rigid, and you know that the drill itself, well, it's a little better. So hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Later.